Dear colleagues, we meet on Human Rights Day, just 1 week after the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. These are not two separate commemorations. For more than 1.3 billion of persons with disability, they are continuous reminder that there is no human rights agenda without disability rights. So behind our laws and policies are real lives. Persons with disability in every region around the world face discrimination, inaccessible services, segregation in institutions, in special schools, in sheltered workplaces, and they are often overlooked during conflict and displacement. When these realities are ignored, the promise of equality and non discrimination remained an empty promise. The European Union is in a unique position as a state party of the United Nations Convention on the Right of Persons with Disability. The EU has both legal obligation and a global leadership role to play. So earlier this year, the Committee on the Right of Persons with Disability issued its concluding observation on the EU CRPD implementation, spelling out that these obligations apply not only inside the Union, but also worldwide in the EU external action and humanitarian work. These recommendations are now part of the European Union's binding human rights framework. So, one of the clearest messages from the CRPD committee is on meaningful participation. So, our motto became now nothing without us. The EU must create new, structured, and well resourced mechanisms so that organizations of persons with disabilities, OPDs, are not only involved, but that they can participate meaningfully in all areas of policy making, including EU external action and humanitarian aid. This means ensuring that OPDs are at the table in all relevant civil society processes organized by EU delegations globally, including programming cycles, designing Team Europe, and global getaway initiatives, enlargement and neighborhood processes, and within the climate diplomacy. It also means ensuring accessible information and consultation to provide only the recent accommodation needed and predictable funding that reach local and the underrepresented groups. Besides funding, of course, for OPDs to work on this. Another key message is that disability is not a niche social issue. It's a cross-cutting human right priority that must be integrated into everything that the European Union does globally. And the global partnerships, development cooperation, humanitarian responses, disaster risk reduction, climate action, migration and asylum, enlargement and neighborhood policy. The CRPD committee is explicit. The EU needs a comprehensive disability action plan for external action, and every major financial instrument, including the NDICI and the future financing instrument for external action, development cooperation and humanitarian aid, the Global Getaway and the Team Europe initiatives, must comply with the CRPD. The cost of not doing so is already visible. We estimate that in the 5 years from 2019 to 2023, over 14 billion euros of the European Commission official development assistance failed to meaningfully take in disability into account, showing that inclusion is not accidental but systematic and measurable and lost resources, but also on missed rights. So, for civil society, this is also a call to action. We must insist that these instruments and the programs are designed and implemented with real inclusion at their core, not as an optional add on. So, the European Union must address an intersectional discrimination, particularly against women and girls with disabilities, children, migrants, and displaced persons with disabilities, and LGBTQI persons, persons from other minority groups, and those living in institutions of any size. Equality is never achieved by declarations alone. It's achieved through participation, accountability, and courage to insist on inclusion and a right based approach where it has been overlooked. The CRPD gives a clear roadmap. The concluding observation gives the European Union a clear direction of travel, engagement, and real commitments to undertake. So, our shared task now should be to turn those commitments into concrete action, time bounded, with the needed technical, human, and financial resources to make sustainable and real changes in the life of all persons with disabilities and their community. I thank you for your attention.